Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for part 2 of my favorite Sapphic fantasies. For those who don't know, fantasy, when I was younger, I always said was one of my favorite genres after being introduced to Harry Potter and Percy Jackson and those types of books. Like, I've always loved fantasy. It's just that over the past few years, I've started to realize that I read contemporary a lot more, just because contemporary is much easier to understand. So basically, for context, that's why it's been so long since I've made a video like this, because like for fantasies, it just takes more time for me to truly like be into them and to understand them, if that makes any sense. I still really enjoy the genre for sure though. So anyway, without any further ado, the first book on this list is called This Ravenous Fate. For those who don't know, this book is a YA fantasy set during the roaring 20s, following two black main characters who are both Sapphic as well, and one of them is a vampire and the other one is a vampire hunter, and they're also former best friends, which is a really interesting dynamic. And basically they have to work together because they now have a common enemy, even though, again, one of them is a vampire and the other one is a vampire hunter. This story is absolutely so incredible, and it's so brilliant, and it's absolutely so excellent. I just really enjoyed it. I think this book deserves all of its hype and so much more. First of all, the world building is so good, and it's so atmospheric. The two characters are both so well developed and so distinct. I love them individually as well as their dynamic together. I'm so excited to read the sequel because I have no idea what will happen next. The plot was so engaging and so intriguing. I was kind of afraid before this book came out that this book wouldn't live up to its hype because I've been a big fan of the author for so many years. I love her booktube videos so much. This book absolutely lived up to all of its hype and so much more. Like I said, I'm so excited to read the sequel next year. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Dangerous Remedy. This story is a YA historical fantasy following two Sapphic main characters who are part of a group that try to save people from being guillotined because it's set during the French Revolution. And basically the latest rescue doesn't go quite the way that they expect. This book is absolutely so fantastic, and I love this trilogy so much. First of all, the magical world building was so excellent and so brilliant. I love the dynamic between the two characters so much. Like, this book is so brilliant and it's so clever, and the plot is so engaging and so intriguing. I love the characters individually so much. I love their found family friend group, the queerness of it all. This book is excellent and it's so good. And I need more people to talk about this trilogy and this series because it's also so talented. And I think that these books are absolutely so brilliant and so good. And I love the pacing, I love the plot, I love the world building, I love it all. Like, this book is so excellent. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called So Let Them Burn. This story is a YA Jamaican-inspired fantasy following a young main character who must choose between protecting her homeland and saving her sister, and she has been blessed by the gods. Her sister, by the way, identifies as a lesbian, and the book is set in dual perspective, so both of them have a perspective. This story is absolutely so fantastic, and it's so good. I'm so excited to read the sequel, which I think comes out in January of next year, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, I'm so excited. This book was so good. This is another book that was so hyped up last year, or this past year. And I was a little skeptical that it wouldn't live up to its hype, especially since I'm quite picky when it comes to fantasies in general. But this book was so good. I love the world building as a half Jamaican person. Like, it really came to life so well. I love the culture, I love the sisters, I love them individually. Like, those side romances were both so cute and so well paced. I love the world building, I love the plot. I'm so excited to see what will happen next. I love dragons. This book is absolutely so excellent and it makes so much sense, and I just really enjoyed it so much. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Lucha of the Night Forest. This story is a YA Latinx-inspired fantasy following a young Sapphic main character who must strike a dangerous bargain to save her sister. I'm so excited to read the sequel to this book. Although when I read this book in 2023, I was unaware that there was a sequel coming, but there is a sequel coming in, I believe, February of next year. But anyway, this book is absolutely so excellent and it's so brilliant. I really enjoyed it so much. First of all, the world building is excellent. It's so brilliant and it's so good. I think this book is definitely better than We Set the Dark on Fire, by the way. The world building is so good. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. I love the sister dynamic so much. The Sapphic queer romance is so cute and so well paced. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I'm so excited to see what will happen next. Although I might have to reread this book before reading the sequel because I don't quite remember what happened exactly, but I do remember absolutely enjoying it so much and really exceeding my really low expectations. But anyway, overall, I really like this book and I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Nightbirds. This story is a YA historical fantasy set during the 1920s, following 3 main characters set in a world where magic for women is outlawed. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. I just read the sequel to this book a few months ago and it's so excellent. This duology is absolutely so good and it's so awesome. I would definitely recommend it for fans of like the diviners, but like people who want like a shorter series, if that makes any sense, and definitely less characters. But anyway, this book is so good. One of the narrators is queer, by the way, and her romance is so cute and it's so well done. The world building is so magical and it's so immersive and it's so atmospheric. The plot is so intriguing. I even enjoyed like the politics of it all. Like the characters are all so well developed and so distinct. I love their friendships so much. It made so much sense and their motivations and emotions made so much sense as well. This book is so fantastic and it's so underrated. I just really enjoyed it so much. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called This Dark Descent. This story is a YA fantasy following 2 main characters, one of which identifies as bisexual, and I believe the other one is on the spectrum, but I'm not completely sure on that actually. But anyway, this book is so good. They team up to compete in a horse race, and it also has Jewish mythology mixed in. This book is so excellent and it's so well done. And again, I just read the sequel to this a few weeks ago, and it was so good. The world building is so immersive and it's so magical and it's absolutely so fantastical. And I love the Jewish mythology so much. The 2 main characters are both so well developed and so distinct. And I love all of the multiple perspectives because they really make the story come to life so much more, especially concerning their dynamics with each other, if that makes any sense. The romances are so cute and so well done. The queer representation is so normalized and it's so good. This book is absolutely so fantastic and it's really excellent and it's so brilliant and it's so good. Like, I love this book so much, and again, I think it's so underrated and it deserves so much more hype. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Practical Rules for Cursed Witches. This story is a YA fantasy following a young witch main character who must complete her magical training by breaking a powerful family's curse. However, her own affliction to never find true love gets in the way when she falls for the girl of the family that she's supposed to save. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. This book is absolutely one of my favorite queer fantasies that I've read this year because I just really enjoyed it so much. First of all, the world building is so magical and it's so fantastic, and I love the magic system so much. This Sapphic romance is so cute and it's so well paced, and they have so much chemistry. And I love the queer found family of friends that she finds because this book is so good. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. Like, everything about it is so excellent and it's so brilliant and it's so well done. Again, this book is so underrated and it deserves so much more hype, which I know I say literally all the time, but like, this book is so excellent. I just really enjoyed it so much. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called A Dark and Drowning Tide. This book is probably the most popular book that I read this year, which maybe doesn't say much because like the majority of the books I read are pretty underrated. Like I was going to make a video talking about the most underrated books that I've read in 2024, but then I was thinking about it and I was thinking like most of the books I read are underrated anyway, so that list is going to be so incredibly long, so maybe I just shouldn't make it, or maybe I should split it. Anyway, this book, if you didn't know, is an adult fantasy following a Sapphic main character who must team up with her academic rival to solve their mentor's murder. And this book is marketed as academic rivals to lovers, but I wouldn't exactly market it as that, really, because it's not set within a school setting. It's set like after that, if that makes any sense. But anyway, this book is so good. I would definitely say that it's worth all of its hype and so much more. The magical world building is so fantastical, and it's so brilliant, and it's so well done. The two characters are both so well developed and so distinct, and the romance makes so much sense, and I really, really liked it so much. The plot and the politics are so well done and so well paced, and I just really, really enjoyed it. This book is definitely worth, like I said, all of its hype and so much more. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. So in conclusion, if there's anything that I've learned about myself in this past year regarding my reading specifically, it's that I am a very picky reader, or maybe it just feels that way to me in my perspective. Like maybe it just feels like my taste in reading is very niche because I'm often reading books that nobody else has ever heard of. Anyway, I already talked about that in a previous video. But anyway, in conclusion, I hope this video helps diversify your bookshelf. And if you enjoyed it, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the strawberry emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!